The Town Star competition happening on September 30th, 2025 will feature the Sell Toys meta, which consists of 3 star boosted items. The star boosts for this competition are Rocking Horse from 1,200 to 120,000, Toy Tractor from 2,369 to 168,000, and Bicycle from 18,820 to 189,000. For this build showcase, I will be doing Toy Tractor as I believe it is the best option to make without any NFTs and likely the best option for everyone with NFTs. This is essentially a Toy Tractor competition. The craft requirements for Toy Tractor are 4 oak wood, 1 iron, 3 chromium, 2 glue, and 1 copper. It is crafted in the North Pole Creation Lab with the craft time of 2 minutes and 20 seconds and stored in the warehouse. The trade time for this competition is 60 seconds with a 1 gasoline cost per trade. The starting layout provided for this competition is a plains biome with a river on the south side and a mountain on the east side. There are seemingly no cash boosts reported for this competition, and the rewards for this competition are the standard Gala rewards for reaching the top 1200 placements in a leaderboard by the time the competition ends. Rewards are usually distributed directly to your account within 5 days. This is the Toy Tractor design that I've created for this upcoming competition. I did test different versions of this. I'm going to talk about 2 of the versions. The first version is what would be no NFTs required, and that one will do 52 toy tractors per hour. This second version that I'm showcasing in the video does use the Town Hall NFT, which reduces the craft time of all the tree farms by 10%, and this one will do at least 55 toy tractor per hour if you don't tweak it much further. I think the only thing I added was an additional clover field that you will not see on the visualizer, but this can be improved further, and I will talk about that as well. So this one is doing about 55 toy tractor per hour. I will scroll through the production monitor so you can see the production rate of everything, but it does close to 60. It could potentially do 60. So here are the main items to talk about here. Chromium is over 180. It is 3 chromium for each toy tractor, so you would only need 180 to reach that 60 per hour rate. So chromium is good. Copper is also good. It's over 60. Glue needs to be 120, which means this is not making enough honeycomb. So potentially you may be able to add another beehive that makes honeycomb, even if it's in a spot with 1 dirty, such as this spot right here. Well, that spot has 2 dirty, but maybe you'll be able to find a spot like this one with 1 dirty or somewhere closer. But that's what I was thinking. You could possibly add another beehive that makes honeycomb, even if it's slower, to balance out those numbers and get glue to 120. Iron is already over 60 and oak wood is over 240, so it already meets the other requirements. The only bottleneck here is honeycomb for the glue. So if you were to fix those things, you could get the toy tractor rate to 60 per hour. You may potentially need one more North Pole Creation Lab. It is possible, probably not, but you just have to keep that in mind. Oh, and it already does have enough lumber to reach that rate as well. You would need 600 lumber. It's going to be cutting it very close, but it is possible. So with the Town Hall, this will overproduce lumber very slowly, and without the Town Hall, you will be using all of that lumber, which is kind of problematic because I've done several tests without any NFTs. Overall, it stabilizes to about 52 per hour, but in the first couple of hours, you might see different rates. You might see a higher rate, you might see a lower rate. It kind of depends on who's picking up the lumber, but that's why I will say with no NFTs, 52 per hour should be the rate. Now, I am using a full set of Fireworks NFTs. I cannot turn that off. I mentioned this on any video that uses Wizards Workshops. So I believe you will need 4 Wizards Workshops making glue, but I only have 2 of them making glue because my craft times are half that. So without the full set of Fireworks NFTs, I believe you will need all 4. And besides, the Fireworks NFTs are still bugged. They will not work while you are in offline mode. So you're probably better off not relying on those anyways. I'm going to break down the crafting process, starting with lumber production. I have 11 logger houses collecting wood from the 32 tree farms, which all have passive water from the nearby ponds and river. There are 6 lumber mills making lumber, and there are 2 lumber yards for that lumber to be deposited into. If you are not making enough toy tractors, then you will also have oak wood being deposited deposited in here, so keep that in mind for the auto sell later. Now for the mineral crafts, I have 5 water facilities, crafting water drums, taking them to the closest warehouse, which is this one. There are a total of 4 warehouses. There are 7 iron mines, 6 are making chromium and 1 is making iron. They do all have the passive energy that they need from all of the nearby power plants, of which there are 4 power plants. For ceramic bowl production, I have 1 nuclear power, which provides passive energy to the pottery shops without casting dirty on them. There are 3 forklifts in charge of collecting crude oil as well as clay lumps. There are 6 clay fields. The clay lumps should be taken to the closest warehouse, which is this one, so it's easier for the pottery shop workers and the wizards workshops to pick them up. And there are 12 pottery shops making ceramic bowls. For the glue setup, there are 5 beekeeper houses, a total of 16 beehives. 10 of them are making honeycomb and 6 of them are making honey. You'll be able to get a better representation of this once you're looking at it from the planner. And there is 1 pantry to store the honey and the honeycomb in, 4 wizards workshops, which should all be making glue, and that glue gets stored in the 1 storehouse. Now copper production is very easy. That you have a panner bunkhouse which comes with 2 workers. There is 2 copper panning sites. I did not rotate these on purpose because it already makes enough copper anyways. If I rotated them and got more copper ore, then I would just be wasting a little bit more wood on copper, which is not necessary. There is 1 ore storage to store the copper ore and 1 forge to craft the copper, and then it takes the copper right here. And finally, for the toy tractor, there are 9 oak tree farms for the oak wood. They will get taken directly to the North Pole Creation Lab, of which there are 5 of. If none of them need oak wood, like I said, it will be taken to the lumberyard instead, and then the worker will have to pick it up from the lumberyard, which kind of slows things down. And for the gasoline setup, there are 2 main power plants right here, a refinery in between them crafting gasoline, the refinery to the side crafting petroleum, and there are 5 oil pumps, so the forklifts can pick up crude oil from them and take them to this fuel storage. As for the trade setup, I only have 1 trade depot in the northeast corner. Now here is what the auto sell looks like. I have most of the items with a quantity of 10, but there are a couple of items at a quantity of 15 that you can see here. I did also decide to add lumber to 20 since it is overproducing if you are using the Town Hall. Make sure you have oak wood to 10 just in case you don't want your lumber yards to fill up completely with oak wood either. And honey and honeycomb, those are at 15 just to make sure that they don't completely fill the pantry with just one of those types of items. Now the clay lump, I do have that at 15 as well, just to make sure there's always clay lumps to pick up for the pottery shops, which is more efficient when making the ceramic bowls. Here's what the build looks like on the visualizers. First up is townstarplanner.online. You can find a link to this visualizer in the description. Build cost shows 25.8 million here, and that doesn't include the cost of building the steel mill, so you have to keep that in mind since you need the steel mill to make steel for the nuclear power, of course. If you don't know how to make nuclear power, I already have a separate video dedicated on explaining that process. It says wages are 30,060 per minute. You would have no issue paying those wages once you're finished with the build, and you can find the file for this visualizer on my Discord server, and an invite link is in the description. I also have the visualizer file for the Townstar Playbook Planner. This tool is still in early access for my supporters on Patreon or YouTube membership, as well as some other people who have helped me out. So this does have the production prediction. I will say the production prediction is pretty off on this one, and that's just because I decided to have additional lumber mills to make sure that all the wood is being turned into lumber. You probably don't need this many lumber mills, but it's safer this way. But of course the production prediction doesn't like that. But this is how it looks like here. The build cost is seemingly lower on this one, same with the wages, which makes me think there might be something off with the build cost for the wages on the Townstar Playbook Planner, or maybe on this planner. But that's just how it goes sometimes. And I will say that you probably don't need this clover field right there. And like I said, if you are using the one with the Town Hall, which is the one that I'm showcasing in the video, you will want to place the Town Hall right here in the middle or in some empty spot. And then you will want to place down another clover field to help out with the honeycomb production rates. But like I said before, you could do some tweaks to get it closer to 60 per hour. So if you have access to the Townstar Playbook Planner, then I will have the build shared shared on here, so you can just click search builds and look it up that way. Now it kind of looks like it's closer to 56 toy tractors, but let me talk about some other things such as the cash boost. Well, they didn't mention there are any cash boosts. As somebody pointed out, Chromium has been cash boosted for a couple of weeks now. This is probably an error that they made that they never fixed, but Chromium's originally only supposed to sell for 4,600 each, and for some reason it is selling for 46,000 each, which is like 10 times more than it should sell for. So you could potentially sell your Chromium for a good amount of cash, even though it wasn't an announced cash boosted item. Otherwise, you're probably just better off doing gold. Which of those two options works better, I'm not completely sure, but at some point you'll be crafting Chromium anyways, and 46,000 per Chromium, and this crafts like about 180 Chromium if you're using this setup. That's close to 8 million cash per hour, which is pretty good considering it doesn't take up too much of a footprint here. You will already need to have the money to build all this out, so maybe you can transition from gold production to Chromium production, and that way you get all the cash you need very quickly. So there's an idea right there. Besides that, I don't have much more to say on this one. It's a pretty good rate for no NFTs required, or even if you're only using the Town Hall. Pretty good rate, especially if you can manage to get it closer to 60 per hour. Well, I think that's everything for the build showcase, so I hope you found this helpful and informative. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, and if you want to help support the channel, you can find links in the description on how to do so. As always, I appreciate your support, and thank you for watching.